Yellow. 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 Let me change my mic position again. Whoa. Good afternoon. Run bucket on here. How are you? How are you? I'm good, I'm good. Hi, Kobold. Hi, Wanderer. Welcome, welcome. Let me bring us over now. Wow! It's Rambakudan! And I'm here! So, good afternoon. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming today, cause, recently, my AC broke. And it is currently 80 degrees upstairs. I am doing fine. I have a fan blowing behind me right now. But, yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming. Maybe like an hour, hour and a half, and then it'll finish the intermission tomorrow. But, ugh. God damn. Why'd my AC have to break as soon as the weather was getting warmer? But, yeah, how's everyone doing? That sucks. Yeah. Really inconvenient, because I am one of those people that just cannot work under, like, specific conditions. Like, I really hate being sweaty as shit. I was trying to do, like, some assignments on my laptop, but then it just got really, really warm, so I was just like, well, I guess I'm not doing this right now. Or I worked for, like, an hour or two, but then I was like, oh god, I am gonna stop right now. My laptop is warm, my room is heating up, I gotta stop. I've been through worse conditions before. The last time my AC broke, it was like 95 degrees upstairs. Yeah. I probably won't be here too long. I do want to read as much of the intermission as possible, but we'll just have to see how far we get in. And I do plan to stream more tomorrow because I know I'm not finishing the intermission today. Wow. Yesterday was the first day of Final Fantasy Fan Fest. It felt like a nuclear bomb to my psyche. How do I explain it? Because I know most of you don't play Final Fantasy 14, but, like, basically, it's kind of like if Jesus came back. It's kind of like if Jesus came back and he gave you a kiss on the forehead. PM did something absurd this intervallo? Like what? Oh well, actually don't tell me. I need to actually play it to know. That is one wild comparison, but I genuinely do mean it. It felt like God came down from the heavens and kissed me on my little forehead. It was beautiful. They were doing so many reworks of, like, old systems that were just not working anymore. Anyways, let me start reading. Intervallo's on voice, so I think I'm gonna have to put on my voice acting gloves. Okay. That's probably gonna be why it's gonna take me a while to get through the intervallo, because I read faster than I actually read aloud. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Wait a second, the chat box isn't showing up, is it? Hold on. It is my chat box. Hello! Let me move you guys up here, and then... Okay. Can you guys say something? Just the... chest power creep. Oh! Boob size? I can't wait to see big boobs. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Merso, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette. All manner of questions for pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose, and placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Okay, it works. Cool. Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Ah! Thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Wi-Fi Association's notarization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Well, intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there is no helping it, forsooth. Yet, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. God, Heathcliff's gotta be so fucked up. Oh god. Poor Heathy. That's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we'd just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will... I assumed that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? Could you imagine? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. Seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time-offs just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? Oh, you know, taking matters into their own hands. We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Ah, sweepers! Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere just to have that stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried within the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis. All that rot. Better to let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. Oh my god, I haven't done a British impression in forever. In Hongyuan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Odious foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed, another mendacity. All this fun so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of finishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Fake-ass I don't give a fucker. You're a fake-ass I don't give a fucker. You are a fake-ass. You're a fake-ass. Are those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? We already know it's the latter. We saw how he was over his lobotomy corp ex-boyfriend. Come on, man, Dante, come on. Your British accent reminds me of some D&D channel's voice, not sure who. Really? I got my British voice from my friend in the UK, and also playing Final Fantasy XIV. Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look in his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. Let the man cope. My fault, Hohenheim. I know we all deal with grief differently. When my dog exploded, I dealt with it by joking about him exploding. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. Oh, she's still alive! I mean, I should have figured, but you know. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the ends of their existence with a crackle of firewood. Yay, cremation! So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh, we're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Gregor came to his senses a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there was no cause for concern. Physically, that is. A psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. So you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? You can't just say that, he's gonna get scared. Gregor's PTSD sure kills. Yeah. Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two in your skin and maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No! I'm not giving you my consent! For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get Boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first one to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do is thank us and be a good boy and cooperate. Ah, just in time. Researchers are here. Why would you call them that? Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait! I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me! Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You not going with them? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book. Marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true, your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off for a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragon steps, the researcher seized Sinclair and carried him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do y'all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Oh. Got something I'd say to help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know if you need anything, Dante. The sitters fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who had been filling the air around with thick cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Oh. Is she accessing the Gessel shop? You seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There's something I had intended to discuss with you and Sinner Ryoshu. A matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKOA, says CH. Wait a minute, did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her dress, or especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whatever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with her relentless questioning. Let's see. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bull. You there. Why don't you join us, too?
Dost thou speak of me?
The LCCA personnel, who were courted by Don Quixote in her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, there's a task that requires your assistance.
But I have yet more words to trade with the most
I accidentally turned British for a second.
But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon.
You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need?
I...
For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You're to be number 2. That is, assistant number 2.
I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee?
Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to Sinner 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task would be to report to me what the manager says.
Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery.
Relay the manager's words, not Ryoshi's.
They're asking what kind of assistance you need.
British Dawn. I can't make her British, she's Spanish! The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstance is a welcome one.
It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation.
In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deemed that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sinner 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Did we go to the House of Spiders right away?
HOSRA.
You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help Faust.
Sure.
Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There's one more member you should bring along.
One more member?
Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. She has regained consciousness. Hey, welcome to the chat, Sheepaw. Or Chaotix. I don't know what to call you. Chaotix. I'm gonna call you Chaotix. Welcome. I'm reading. I'm gonna be doing a lot of voice acting today, so I need to chug water afterwards. Just as a quick fill. Oh my god, I forgot to link my Discord. Hold on. In case anyone wants to be in my Discord, let me go get the invite. The invite. I'm trying to make a habit of putting that on every stream now. And I don't think I remember to put it in the description, so let me do that real quick. Dip cord. Hopefully just existing and with Streamlabs open won't fucking destroy my computer, because it's hot in my room, which means my PC is— oh my god, it's hot! The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber, though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well-equipped.
Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable.
Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with a sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. Oh, all her whimsy is gone. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she had appeared when I seen her through the Sinner's shared vision.
She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the process of extraction?
It hasn't yet begun, actually. We're waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders.
Then what you even doing here?
There's work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended.
No TV, no comic books?
Just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who had been disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or, shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words like a prickled sting, but with Kira, it almost felt as if he traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead me as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. Ah, so you anticipated some form of corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle, these two considerations are what increased your value in the eyes of the company. Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? Let's see. Catch up with the chat. Little toasty, I'd assume. Yes, it is very toasty in here. You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? The heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and stimulations, and, of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too is a rather foolish thing to say. Hohenheim, I can't blame you. Your new guy is dead. Your new man is dead. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in that thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that. To aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in a family. Family, coming from him, a middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's... thrown out? That fucker Matthias was a GB, only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. No kidding, because he was just taken... How do I explain? I'm thinking of that one, I think it was Key and Peele bit, where it's like, shut up, Mom! You're cut off from speaking! And like, he just takes money from his siblings, and even kills them if he needs to. He's, like, extremely selfish. He's an extremely selfish guy. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising it's the ST for the bowl cut, too. Same taste? Oh, young Yoshu, could it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for fix? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation.
So what exactly is your point?
The point is, you're taking too long. You can't decide whether you want to live or die. I can shorten the hesitation.
TQ. Or I'll SYNK. Right this instant.
K? Oh my god, I can't read. C!
What does that mean?
Cooperate quietly, or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant.
SYNC isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave.
This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. Actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who leave to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you taking in weird-ass abbreviations? Like SYNC? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. Was this really the right call? To her, we're probably people she needs to settle the score with.
As if.
Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for the stray that she'd bite us? Besides... No, better hear from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket.
That's 'cause... Well, 'cause...
Fuck.
Well, 'cause Papa was weaker than y'all.
Yeah, you're the jerk sprat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bread with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who'd been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency.
The hell? I can't even unsheath it!
Ah, you won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Fuck! Now, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Whew! Kira, you have to realize your dad didn't care about you. You have to realize it. He didn't give a single shit about you. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. He did not care shit about you compared to, like, Yoshihide. Oh my god, I converted my module in Instinct. Oops. Alright, what have you got today? Here's the event bonus, actually. I need to check that. Ah, right. Oh, okay, I can bring all of these. Okay, okay. I haven't rolled on the banner yet, and I don't have enough to roll for it right now, so that's just gonna have to happen off stream, probably. Oh wait, I can just do it right now. Alright, guys, will I get the event IDs? Can I? Okay. I definitely think there's something going on with, like graphics or something, because I could see the video is, like, lagging. Alright, look, I didn't get anything. Woohoo! Okay! Alright, whatever. Let's go back. Let's go set up our story team. I got absolutely fucking nothing! Okay, so I want to bring... Do I have any tickets left? I was leveling him, but... I think I'm gonna go... Hold on. I'm gonna go skip, excavation real quick. I wanna try him. Because I haven't actually played with him yet. I was just, like, focusing on leveling him before I took my break. Nice. Okay, back to it. Gregor's still out of commission. Yeah. Ugh. Alright, let's see. Let's bring in our ring IDs. I still have you around, but I don't think I can pull you out in combat, unfortunately. I'm surprised there's no bonus for him, since he's... Oh, wait, no. He's index. I'm stupid. Ugh. I think I just really wanted an excuse to use him. Oh, well. I also have her, but I haven't leveled her at all, so she's also gonna be completely unusable. And finally, Otis, who is also not leveled. Whee! I'm just gonna have to make do with what I have. I did 10 consecutive battle manually, and it took a while. It was worth it, though. Yeah, that is pretty worth it. It's just so tedious. I have to have the game open for a long time. Alright, who do I want to take? I'm gonna take a look at his keywords real quick. Maybe this will be the side. Oh, right, yeah! People said he's the new bleed meta, right? I'll still bring out this Dawn. And I'll bring you out. I'll stick to, Corp. What about you? Do I have any... Well, I do have the Prince of La Mancha, but I didn't level it either. What about you, Heathcliff? Did I get anything for you? I think I'm gonna keep you as a... We'll stop. You can stay as is. You can also stay as is. He's neat. Alright, let me try him then. Alright, who should I bring in? I'm gonna prioritize the bleed IDs, and then I'm gonna bring in the big powerful ones. And these are emergencies. It is also occurring to me that I could literally just... I could just open... I could just get a support ID. What the fuck am I doing? Tell me, who is preferred for, in terms of, like, the Ring Falvis? Is it Merso, or is it Roja? I will say, Roja is very beautiful. And, one of the people that I have on my friends list just has everything for her maxed, so I might just go with her. I'm still gonna use her for this one, but if Merso is better, I'll take Merso. No idea? Gotcha. Yes, Limbus, I don't care. Only a few days have passed since our last visit. The place looked remarkably different from what I remembered. Oh, all the art's gone. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Roja, I'd say, if you had to choose between the two. Rojan's the better of the two? Okay, okay. Prithee, who might those people thither be? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. Wait, is this a new W Corp? This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. Ooh! Wayfarer Company? A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees have also taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember. That company vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. It's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free-falling at this point. And these are the manager and the sinners of the LCB department, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations units are almost always understaffed anyways. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like it was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions that T-Corp has leveraged to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public, but what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyways. I mean, she's been interpreting for like 9 contos straight now. I'd be tired too. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He is referring to the Monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Herbert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We reviewed the agreements. Now, I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo-Unken and his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out of farm stuff, but...
Farm?
Oh, it's, gathering material.
I see. What kind of material?
Human guts and all that. She'd come back hauling piles of them. So, they're probably connected to some backstreets area.
The back streets. Any more details?
Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally all I've got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Ugh! I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge the surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have completely caught her off guard. She stood there, eyes blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Oh. Hold on. Wait. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou! What manner of discourtesy is this?
Ah.
With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team Leader Allen. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I'll keep that in mind going forward. Please do not hit women! This is a PSA, please do not hit women! Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim's handled the situation. You have to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So freaking annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. Punch just now, though. What was that?
It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company.
Let us resume the task at hand. Senator Ryoshu, give Team Leader Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left. I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I, H, and A, where they actually lead. It's all blurry. And that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then, I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Senator Ryoshu mentioned. You don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon, an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? Oh hey! It's the new Falvism exhibit. Fun fact, a lot of people now hate this guy after that. Yeah, no kidding. You don't punch women and get away with it, dude. The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues, or perhaps taxidermied animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit! The scale is just insane! That's the whale from 8 Association Great Lakes Special Issue! Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing in life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though.
Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born.
They look almost alive. They're not, right?
No, they're not alive, but...
Duh, though Robo-Unk did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. It looks crazy sick, though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote? What? Oh, wait, no! My mouse!
The eye of a second kindred. Of House Tepis. What is it doing here?
At the mention of word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hand and bones that looked as if they'd been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning towards the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. Ooh, cool fursuits, dude!
A presence, it's kinda like Papa's. Ain't no way! That's not a raid boss we can clear at our level! We gotta get out of here!
It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. Let me read. As tension thickened, one of the strangers, who wore a peculiar bone mask, stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight.
We came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been?
You. Who are you?
Ah, right. It would make sense that you failed to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back then when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I?
A wolf, if memory serves right.
Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling.
Can someone draw this character over, like, those shirts of, like, wolves howling at the moon, please? Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was 3 hours sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. I don't know how to pronounce that. Benoit, was it?
That's right. Emile Benoit.
I don't know how to fucking pronounce this. Benoit? Benoit? I'm just gonna call you Emile.
And they say you can't hack a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still as sly as a raven, unlike your nurse father's.
Don't presume. I only remember you because of the tactility of hides and guts, made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshu was casually taking down a trip with memory lane with the maestro, but I had a feeling she was, in fact, dragging this out on purpose to buy us time.
The lockdown sequence things. How much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence!
Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members an incensed glare sparked by the discovery of Kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A?
Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead,
maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade. Arayashiki. I was going to try using it anyways. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling her that we were just leaving won't work, will it?
No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed.
Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Arayashiki. God, tongue twisters! Don Quixote is a kindred of higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us. But even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Lei Heng, and do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch him off guard by slowing down the flow of time. A cut from the Arayashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away.
This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Araya Shiki makes it worth the cost.
Whew. If you want a taste. Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter?
How?
The lock of the House of Spiders used to bind the Araya Shiki no longer exists, so why? Why can't I draw the blade?
Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false?
I have this feeling Araya doesn't want her to use the sword again. You want a shirt with them on it? I guess. But also I just want them over like those pictures of like wolves. Like you know those paintings of like werewolves like howling at the moon and they're like they have like aura or whatever, or they look like really somber. Yeah. The maestro only gave a loose swing with her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, did you?
I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is?
What are you on about now?
Ask any student and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why, it's lamentably disappointing.
The maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty, and seized the bead thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. It was probably a tendon.
I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admire their structural refinement. The thrice-coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that?
Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged her arm into the long, serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive of that as the Nurse Father's, only more primal and untempered.
Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready?
1 minute to go. Step aside. The attack from the eagle gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't last even a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurling motion. And the one who intercepted the blow...
Shit!
...was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her steel-sealed blades.
Kira?
Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of?
Shit, this wasn't the plan at all.
Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret.
In the middle,
For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper mender, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself.
Aha, you must be the new kid Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way?
Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright?
Damn it!
They're defo gonna ditch me here. Why did I even... Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled within suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure.
Ugh, shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades!
Authorized and ready. Lifting locks, now! Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Minoette's arms from the deadlock as well.
Say that again? Deadlock?
The maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but...
Huh? 'Tis a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages.
Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full knight, knocking off its trajectory. She's so fucking unserious. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door.
No!
Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of Sinner 3. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips.
Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved.
Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Are you killing her off, like, instantly? Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking, diving in like that? You! Don't just stand there! Get over here now!
Huh? But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I...
U-T-T-M. Want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay. Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two backdoors before the maestro could cross over. Bull cut. Think you can still use your arms?
I'm fine.
So she says. Kira will be strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have on my side would not be the best course of action. In that case... Guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so? Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever.
Hang on, I just need to finish this bite.
Everyone to me! Benoit Loki has drip. Dude, she got that shit on, I think. Wait, she her pronouns? I hope I didn't assume incorrectly. What's Benoit's pronouns? Let me know. I mostly assumed based off of the Roja ID, I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Let's try out the new ID. What is your gimmick? I actually didn't read your skill. Inflict bleed. You have an alternate one. I'm assuming it activates under specific conditions, so I think I'm just gonna wing it. Interesting. Interesting. Oh! Negative effects. If you... Okay. So he kind of counters negative effects on himself, huh? Or wait. Target has to... Oh, okay. That's the ring gimmick. So he gets more damage at the end of his skills. If there's a bunch of negative effects. Okay, I understand. I should probably level Ringy Song. For now, we're just gonna ball and focus on just winning the fight. And I'll just watch what happens. Delicious.
취한 한량처럼 허둥거리니 승기를 세운다면 지금이겠구나.
It's been so long since I played Limbus. I took like a 2-week break because I was so fucking busy. Hey, I see my sinners getting hit here. Can you guys stop that? I love how fucking big Ring Honglu's silhouette is. It's so funny. Good job, Sinclair. You finally didn't disappoint me. I swear, sometimes when I pick fucking when I pick his like big skill, sometimes he just doesn't do what I want him to do.
La la la. La la la, kill everybody!
I also haven't actually read what the Fauvism IDs do. I should probably look at what those debuffs that Roja put down are. Oh, did she also give ally buffs, or are those also debuffs? I don't read guides on how to use an ID. I just say fuck it and ball, and if it doesn't go correctly, then fuck me. Let me see this. In one sync. Ah! Not ally buffs. So it's ally debuffs. Interesting. Interesting gimmick. Oh wait, no, Verta didn't give those, it's the enemies. I'm stupid. That would be kind of stupid to make an ID that that inflicts like ally debuffs. But have you considered that would also be really fucking funny? Oh, Ryoshu. Oh, Ryoshu. Okay, thank you, Ryoshu. I think Benoit's pronouns are she, her. At least the wiki refers to them as much. The wiki does resource, they're very resourceful, and they usually get pronouns right, especially considering they keep track of literally every single instance of Dante's pronouns, so I'm gonna assume, yes, that is correct. I'll be ending in, like, probably 10-15 minutes, by the way, because I am fucking toasty in here, dude. I'll either finish this tomorrow or off-stream. Or maybe I can end at, like, 30 minutes instead. Because I still do want to read this event. Okay, I think you're allowed to nuke them now, Heathcliff. Thank you, girly. Oh, almost one shot. Delicious. I really love the ring gimmick. It's like they're honestly I always like that they're really good filler for like keyword teams. It's only the first door and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We are merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you aren't gonna trust me, weirdos? We would have opened them all at the end of the day. SD. SD? What's that? Same difference. I can't- why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's W-A. Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Falvis won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and the back doors have always been the ring's turf block. And those Falvis beasts have endured as long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Ryoshu was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it's unlikely they would move on to House of Spiders so soon. They could always rush for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvis maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation?
The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. That said, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Yoshu lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering was faint! That was seen by all indeed? Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? I guess you could say that. Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshu was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshu's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshu, do you... Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Please feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility, then? No, that won't be necessary. There's a facility here that should prove more than adequate. Yay! Forgot how long this interval is, but I do know that the last fate takes a hot minute to finish, even if you know what you're doing. I see. So I might just have to finish this off stream then, because I really do want to play this event. Yay! Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by LIMBUS Company following Operation Spiderpire. It did not exist prior to the House's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of a possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long will the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for Relic now. Which means that it should be finished in an hour from now, at the latest. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off the side. The examination's probably going to start immediately. Time to get to Sinclair, then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vespa Crabro, with the big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack... thief? Manager.
Cat on snack. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them.
Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding.
Greg, kick his ass.
Not only is this a matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Caron also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Caron.
Cat-on. Super sulky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day.
Deploying Super Pass Bitter Candy.
Beep beep. Mode disabled.
I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me.
Cat-on forgives this time. Next time, no mercy.
Best to make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Caron peeled the snack thief sign off of Vespa's back. This is the second time Vespa's taken food that isn't his now, isn't it? Those are my favorite lines of dialogue.
Greg, kick his ass.
I agree. Hi, Vespa, and I gotta go. Oh, okay, see you, Cobalt. Thank you for coming. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth.
Wait a minute, I was saving that for later.
I assumed you were being picky.
Well, now you know. Yeah, I still see you gobbling up my share.
Ah, he took my snack too, Verd! Kick his ass!
Rodion Romanovic. I am aware that half of this total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well.
Chill, that's totes been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that, and this is the—
That's the line! That's the line!
The lines on Virgilius's brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near a guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks.
Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign.
I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it.
Observation of the sign has been so far limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information so far has been existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place.
By individuals bearing sign, do you mean people like Demian and Sanson?
Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia?
I should step in and put an end to the subject before Roja gets the blues. I don't think so, from what Ishmael and Faust reported back then.
Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think.
Maybe, you know, those layers of light Demian used to finish off Cromer, or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it.
Aye, that doth seem plausible.
So, none of that is information confirmed yet.
Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present.
This is at best grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there's presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated.
I see.
Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research.
Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway?
No, I mean... I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. It's really changed lately. For the better, I think? So, did anything happen that we should be worried about?
I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up.
Just took some blood, a small skin sample.
Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation.
Yeah, and, I had to fill out some questionnaires, too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness.
And your memories of that moment have yet to return?
No, I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Faust said they only exist within my future self, so...
Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first?
A paradox, it would seem.
In such a case, that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation.
Here you go again, more of that nonsense only you lot understand. Oi, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? And some part of him's gotta be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull off some of those tricks from back then.
Tricks from back then?
Heard you kicked off proper out there. Even pulled out that trick you picked up from that plastered old geezer, right?
Not just that, he was using that Mang technique quite effortlessly, too.
What? That glowing ring thing?
Yup, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them coiled around his weapon.
I used the glowing ring thing?
This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone?
Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability?
I mean, I guess that flashy aura makes you real tough. I guess that flashy aura that makes you real tough's one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right?
Dunno, could be a secret finger thing they pass down to their members. Technique, gear, something like that. Look at it. That black coney leader, that lay hang prick, and the nurse fathers we fought. Whole lot of them fingers, ain't they?
The notion seems to unravel, for even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius, too.
So what, only the proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze towards Virgilius and Vespa.
I only learned to wield it from my team leader, too.
I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can't claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. Rumors? They circulated among elite fixers and association leadership. Sorry. That there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs.
A rumor among fixers, sayest thou?
Yes, even the technique to manifest it, how-to tips, really, spread through hearsay.
Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest Mag bonus vid, bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura farmed with a shiny mang wrapped around the weapon.
You can't be saying this, Kira.
It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such marvel in video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue. Literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it?
Videotape? Alas, for many a week I have been stranded from Miffy, reading me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. What's me? When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of venturing fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appears to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume that we could make use of it? Oh, fucking hell. Kira's been exposed to rot. No! I'm starting to get tired of reading. Oh god. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa's brows visibly twitched the moment the Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. A Yellow Harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes, and he uses a harpoon, too. Can you argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Sang's pre-contract self could manage to earn it. Why must the self of mine be chosen as a point of comparison? Well, 'cause you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Ah. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited, unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful.
Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too?
Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the little nurse father didn't use any Shin Namrang.
Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that.
Wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. It was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such power in the first place. Vespa's responses always came back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence.
I already said I get it.
As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than that you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the trainers treat you with lenience. Step out of line and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilia said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers, and left us with plenty of memories you'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshu returned. Yay! Oh my god, I'm getting so tired of reading. Maybe this is a thing I'm just gonna read off stream. Ugh. This will be the last one, and then I'm gonna hop off. Which hopefully I will finish before the stream ends. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshu's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver almost as if it had taken an offense. Somehow I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts. One that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. The scabbard has its own will. Does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked me whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminologies of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead to restoring Sinner Ryoshi's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That'll be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. Alright then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the senators were pretending they weren't interested in it at all. But, fuck. But going by the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they'd been intently listening in on our conversation. Where are we to go? Right, sorry, forgot the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war executive manager?
We talking about me? Yeah, I guess. I'm working with them too, yeah.
You have been reading for over an hour. There is a lot of reading in intervals. That's true. I might just have to read off stream. Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception.
Yeah, sure, whatevs.
Kira needled at Otis with a reading for so long is fucking me up. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight to the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, executive manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone your concern about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summoned me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. But I stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along, then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure.
I don't think I can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass.
I will follow if that is your order, manager.
No, it's fine. Just get some rest.
It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. Oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna call it here, because I am thirsty and I'm tired. And it's hot as shit in my room. So, thank you all for coming. I will be scheduling another stream for tomorrow. I don't know if I can finish it in time tomorrow, but at the very least, I will try to, I will probably play a little bit off stream and then come back. I think that should be good with y'all. Okay. With that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be getting water. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I was like to try to get some milk and cookies.